we should be. I'm never quite sure exactly when it starts, so it's always best to give it about 10 or 20 seconds grace.
I'll open my puffs.
Okay.
My vital puffs.
Did anyone save the direction we got last time?
Right, we are streaming.
Hmm?
The directions from the car.
Oh gosh, let me see if I remember them. I believe it was. I think it was north.
Was
east,
north, east, northwest, north.
north. Oh, that's what double
Just-
right.
Okay. Cool.
Sounds like one of those combinations, you know, when you play like on a Super Nintendo or something, you put the skill codes in.
Up, down, left, right.
A, B, start. Is that the Konami code? I don't
No,
know.
it's B, select start.
I feel.
Alright, so recount for me.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
the bugs and the humans are gonna fight, but the bugs we've convinced to not want to fight because they kind of don't want to anyway. But the humans really kind of do, and so we've somehow negotiated ourselves into doing the Hunger Games, where if we lose, the humans are going to just carry on fighting, and if we win, they'll see that as kind of entertaining enough to not bother with war, I guess.
And the odds are ever in their favor.
Always.
Yeah, it's kind of by way of a, they used to, in theory, have the tradition of champions who would duke it out in order to decide a conflict without having to go full-on war with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of the situation that you're in. And how did the first step of the gauntlet go last week?
Really well. If by really well, you mean we nearly fell to our deaths quite a lot. And yeah, we fought a big dragon, and then we fought a, what was it, sort of weird, not badger.
Oh, it was a badger.
Oh, it was a badger, okay. But a different sort of badger than
Yes,
we
indeed.
might be used to.
And by hook or by crook, you found your way over to a silvery door, which was similar to the one that you used to get into that place. You found a few useful bits of gear, i.e. ciphers, and had a little bit of a rest up. And, well, I'm just going to GMly shove you through that door. So actually, what... let's see, maybe beforehand, I guess there's kind of an as you'll recall, there's various little camera drones and also apparently camera insects flitting and floating around you to record all the goings on. They also broadcast the shouts and cheers and boos and yells of the crowd who is watching you all do your thing. Once you get to the end of the kind of course that you were set on and you're in front of this door, and you have defeated all the nasty dragons and whatnot. There is kind of, dual announcements basically from Jaina and Fogry. They're like, and so they've defeated the first course. The dragon lies in a bloody mess on the thing over there. And anyway, they recap what has happened, and then all that is left to do is to go through that door. You have a brief moment when that happens of, once again, kind of all-encompassing blank grayness and numbness for a moment as your reality is reconfigured or something like that. And you find yourselves waking up in a pleasant city, and specifically a pleasant plaza, which is... the sun is shining, and there is the all-surrounding kind of hum and drone and whir and whistle of something like birds or insects or something like that. So there's a great general quiet, peaceful hum. You're in a small kind of paved and kind of cobblestoned like a little plaza or a little square. There is a big, pretty-looking tree in the middle, and there is large stone benches kind of arranged around the place, on which you find yourselves sitting or lying in a couple of cases, as if you had been enjoying the warm afternoon sun for a few hours. This place is very crowded and busy and bustling and populated. Basically, as you look out from this plaza, you can see the view which is in the picture, more or less. So there is a kind of, a city-like kind of shelves and tranches of residential areas and balconies and whatever you call it when a corridor is just an open one, and walkways and all that kind of thing. It's bustling and crowded with people of all kinds of varieties. They don't seem to take any notice of your presence in particular. Not that they're ignoring you, they just don't see anything untoward about your being there. As you look around, you actually see, so the camera drones and stuff and the insects briefly pop into existence. But then they actually change shapes and forms. They kind of transform or maybe shield themselves in illusions. It's not immediately easy to tell. But either way, they basically disguise themselves as kind of ambient life, like birds and weird cat things and things of that nature that blend into the surroundings, but they appear to be still observing you. Yeah, that is all that immediately happens.
Okay. Could I get the attention of one of these passers-by and just say hello?
Sure. Okay, so it's a young lady wearing a kind of smart, plasticky-looking apron kind of thing that is quite fashionable, and she has. Anyway, she kind of stops and says, yes, hello, can I help you? What's up?
I just realised I stopped her and asked her without any thought to what I was actually going to say. Could I ask you what is this place called?
Oh, this place? It's, that's a good question. 1 second. Let me generate a name.
Okay.
This place is called Foi.
Okay. Thank you.
Freaking vowels all over again.
Sorry. Wait a second. I mean, this place where you're at right now, this is,
Yes.
you're in, we're in the north side, and we're just underneath the markets.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that, she kind of walks on like, is that it? And she
yeah,
just passes
thank
back
you.
into the crowd.
Okay, that was extremely helpful. I'm sure. Is there anything? I'm almost thinking in video game level design terms. Is there anything that looks like a goal or an obvious
not.
way to go?
You look around and you do not see any sign of anything like a grey, convenient, shimmering door to guide you.
No
What
food
shops
yet.
are here?
So basically, the little plaza that you're in, kind of rearing up on each side is kind of a wall of shops, you might say, and kind of similar to the ones that you can see ahead of you. There's kind of walkways and steps and things leading up to get to all of them. It's not necessarily immediately obvious what all the shops sell, but there's a big variety of signs and things kind of hanging out over the, out from the doors of the shops to kind of advertise what they sell. You kind of almost see signs indicating just about everything that you could think of a shop would sell. There's signs indicating kind of machines and herbs and stuff and food and fineries and clothes and various other ones that are harder to interrogate at first glance.
Right. Let's see. That's those directions that we got. Are they something we could follow, perhaps? Maybe this is like directions from where we, start here too.
All
I
right.
mean, we
Yeah.
don't know where we are in relation to where we came from.
True. I'm just thinking this is.
So far we've been we went north once, we went east once, right? Up the
Oh, right, yeah, of course, it was a cardinal.
the
Right.
first.
Yeah.
Well, I described them as north, but actually they were just in relation
okay,
to the
sure.
circle that Erasmus laid out. I'll tell you what you could do is anyone who feels they are smart enough could have a go at remembering the position of the sun in the previous place and comparing it to the position of the sun in this place and seeing if you can work out where north is relative to all that and doing it that way. There's
Given
one
that
thing
I'm
you could try.
trained in like tracking and survival, I would feel like that's
Oh, yeah.
something I'd be alright at.
Yeah,
So
cool.
I
That
could
would.
give that a shot.
I think that would certainly work. All right. So give me an intellect roll, level 3. It's not too difficult of a task. But on the other hand, you have to. You know, you don't know exactly if it was morning or afternoon, or if it's morning or afternoon here. So you have to
Right.
kind of make guesses and stuff. So yeah,
All
level 3.
All right.
Well,
Alright, major effect.
Bam! All right. So you recall with a keen intensity the exact layout of the sun and how it related to your snaky navigational senses. Maybe have like a subtle indication of the kind of magnetic field or things
Yeah.
like that.
I'm like a pigeon. I always know where
Yeah.
north is.
Yeah, exactly. So you, in fact, Barracks, in fact, finds himself able to perfectly orient himself to north in the two two different locations, and as a result, he's able to see that. Let's say the direction that you're facing in the picture is north.
First he's like a snake, then he's like a pigeon. Stop hogging all the animals, Varix.
Bestial.
Okay, do we go
So
that way?
I'm a little bit intimidated by all these sudden influx of people that I don't know. So I just sort of, I don't know, who would be the most, maybe Bean.
Actually, sorry. Before that, Mr. Erasmus, could you please make me an intellect roll, difficulty 3, to magically try and sense something about your cards and the message that they gave you?
Sure. Would I be trained in that?
Yeah.
Since
This,
I have Numenera training, so
yeah. This would count as Numenera, basically.
cool. And intellect. Do it? Nope. I'm trying again.
There we go.
Yes.
You know, I actually didn't reset the API thing this time. Maybe they've just fixed it themselves. Cool. So the let's see. Basically, you have a moment of inspiration, Erasmus, and you take out you feel an urge to take out the card that you originally drew at the start of the process in the last location. I can't remember exactly what it portrayed, but in any case, you draw it out, and let's see. I guess basically,
Oh, here he is.
yeah. I guess basically maybe you have an urge to, like sometimes you'll get the urge to basically do little acts with these cards because they're meant as a tool of kind of divination, but it's not necessarily a kind of set practice or set method that you have. You just kind of have to follow your instincts and kind of do what you feel about the cards. Something about using the same directions in the two different locations urges you to kind of recheck your methods, as it were. But when you draw out this card and you flip it over to look at the other side, it flies out of your fingers and goes fluttering down into the empty space below. Just as he disappears.
Oh, man.
He seems
In
to
the
be weaving in and
meantime-
out constantly.
All right.
Yeah.
I think if something bad's gonna happen, I think it's probably best if we are somewhere where we can. Maybe we should probably get to high ground or something and get Because we're like, if I'm looking at this now, we're on these walkways, right?
Yeah, sure, pretty much.
Okay.
So, kind of ahead of you, if you were to exit this plaza, there is a. Maybe I'll draw a map in a second, but there's kind of walkways leading left and right that would lead you to the left and right sections of the, walkways and stuff that you can see.
Okay, right. So there's nothing like people aren't running away from anything. There's nothing bad's happening
Nope.
at the moment.
The scene seems completely peaceful.
Okay, and no one's weirding out about barracks.
No, well, people are glancing at him occasionally, and also, Minim and just you in general, who seem a little bit strange. But it's quite a varied crowd here. It's there's a certain amount of abhumans kind of mixed into the population, and generally some people kind of dressed up like you wouldn't expect, and things like that. So it seems a relatively, open, non-homogeneous kind of city. So basically, people are glancing at you, and yeah, they do seem to, widen their eyes a little, particularly at barracks, perhaps. But other than that,
yeah,
people
no
are not.
abnormal ignorance or whatever. No abnormal.
No. You seem,
actions.
you seem to appear before them as normal, etc.
Yeah. All right. Sure. Well, there's no sense of standing around, I guess. So.
Minim's wandered over to where the tastiest smelling food is.
All right. Let's stick together, guys. So let's all move to.
So the
Let's go left or
stall.
right. Or...
So nearby to Minim, let's say Minim went down the right-hand path,
All right.
and just on the street there is a food cart basically selling. Let's see, I don't really have a good picture to hand, but basically they're roasting over an open grill.
Something Henson.
Something like that, yeah. They look kind of like, let's see, I guess they look a bit like crabs with big long legs, but they're also kind of wrapped up and encased in a filigree of, I don't know, it looks like a cross between a kind of spider's web or nest and a kind of bird nest that looks kind of caramelized. Rather strange, but it gives off a very intensely both sweet and meaty, slightly fishy kind of smell.
Are other people buying this?
Yeah, sure. There's there's a small queue of people who buy various snacks from him and tuck into them with seeming gusto. And as well, when you kind of approach the counter, let's see. Actually, 1 second. Let me rustle up.
I was just trying to figure out if Minim just freaking takes one of them, or if he notices that people are paying for them.
They are indeed paying for them.
Yeah, so
themselves as they.
So he'll fork out some shins for it in that case.
All right, the guy who is standing behind the counter looks a little bit weird. Rather weird. He looks like.
Oh boy.
Let's wait for it to load in. Looks like this.
He looks like Bob.
A little bit like Bob, yeah. But he, I guess it's not shown in the picture, but he has kind of a face in the middle of those tentacles, and he kind of waves his arm. He's like, all of his little army tentacle things are like swarming about his little mini kitchen thing, and preparing all the various foods and filing away all the money and stuff like that. And as he sees you, he kind of shakes his body around, and his tentacles kind of follow after and kind of flail around a bit, and he goes, "Ooh, welcome! How can I help you today?"
Minim just kind of like hands him an approximate number of shins to what he's seen other people handing over.
Oh, and what would you like, my child?
Is he selling more than one thing?
Sure, he's selling a variety of insecty, sea creature-ish sweetmeats and stuff.
Well, Minim just grabs one at random.
All right, he says, "Have a nice day." And yeah, cool. So you jump into that. Tastes really good.
Cool.
Well, if he's buying some, I'll have.
All right, so yeah, so
As long as you're not adversely affected by it.
No, it tastes good and seems to be good food.
I'd like to
much
buy
is-
one and make a recovery roll at the same time.
Yeah, do it.
Yes.
If you have let's see. Actually, I think I let you use your hour recoveries at the end of the last one. But anyway, you
I've
can
used
use...
my first 2.
Yeah, you can use up to an hour one at this stage, I'd say.
Okay.
Also, I actually don't like that guy's voice. I'm going to change it.
How much were the crab monster food?
Just a couple of shins. Don't worry about the cost.
Oh,
Free insect legs. You
Nice.
spoil us. You spoil us.
Can I ask the vendor, is anything unusual going on today?
I wouldn't say so.
Your voice has changed.
Same old, same old.
Okay. Well,
So
thank you.
what are you boys in town for?
Oh, you
Oh,
know.
we're on business.
Business, huh?
Yeah. You know.
Fighting giant monsters, and we came through portal.
Yeah. Don't ignore him. He's got. Yeah, we're taking care of him at the same time. It's part of the business. We're taking care of him.
Minim starts
This
feeding
one.
his spider the rest of Hyun's arm.
So what are you guys, monster hunters?
Whatever pays, you know. Sometimes.
I'd say monster enthusiasts.
Yeah. We dabble in monsters. I think.
Monsters.
I see. It's strange because there's no monsters around here. Portal, you said?
No, that's just good old Minim being Minim. I slap Minim on the back. It's bear him no mind. It's you see, we're in
Fair
town.
enough. Far be it from me
We're
to
in
pry.
town to sample the local cuisine. You know, we're here to. We're writing a guide on places one could visit on holiday. If one were to, you know, leave their hometown and venture out into
Well, you've
You
come
know.
to the right place, but the best scrunch in the region over here. And he rustles his food around.
yeah. So we found this is delicious. Could you tell me, where are you getting your produce from?
Oh, local beaches.
All right. So
I say.
so can we intuit, like, if we are anywhere like that we know or that we have heard of?
You could kind of ask this guy about the surrounding area, and I mean, you could just straight up ask him, you know, where the place is located.
All right. I don't want to be too weird. I
Yep.
want to be like.
No.
I mean, beaches sound nice.
Yeah. True.
Maybe quite relaxing.
So, since there's no monsters here, what are you guys? Oh wait,
Well,
cuisine.
I,
Yes.
We can
what
hear
would
you,
you-
Thomas.
What would you call, like, the local, the most famous local dishes that best describe this region we're in?
Let me think for a second.
And tell me how it relates to the place we're in and how it describes the local area. Like, we are interested in that link, you see, between
Tell me the history of your people.
food and its people.
All right, well, I see you're true gourmets. Well, you'll be wanting to try the local zipa, which is harvested from the mines in the, you know, this place is famous for its minerals. Well, I don't know exactly how they do it, but they refine that into a tasty sauce. They drape over it just about anything, and it makes it taste delicious. You'll be wanting to head over to the buffet market over yonder, and he points over to the lower right-hand portion, let's say. Yeah, that's where all the really good stuff is. That's where I go to eat out.
All right, great. Could you also tell me, like, where's the local church or maybe local tourist information point? We're looking for some for some more places to, you know, gather.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but if you want to find out some information, I guess you could head over and see, auto-generating names. You could go over and see Tipio.
Yeah, is he like the local information guy, Tipio?
Yeah, he knows what's what.
All right, cool. Could you point me in this direction?
He's got a stall over yonder, and he points over onto the left-hand side thingamajig.
Thanks for the tip, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks for the tipio.
Thanks for the tipio.
That's the joke.
Yeah.
He
You're
laughs in a way
welcome.
that sort of
And he
indicates he's never heard that one before.
and he gives you a wink.
With that face?
Come back anytime once in squanch.
What you can only interpret to be a wink.
I try to return it and dislocate my jaw.
Well, sir, you can definitely expect a beautiful review in our guide once it comes out. All right, I guess we head towards Tipio.
Tell your friends.
Unless anyone
about
else
the
wants-
branch.
Will do. Wait, are you a franchise? Is that what you're saying? Is that- Anyway, all right, we'll be heading to. Unless anyone else has any ideas, that might be like I'm kind of grasping here.
Cool.
I think it
All right.
seems
Go see
reasonable.
Tipia.
Yeah, I do like Tipio is an intriguing name. We do want to know more about it.
All right. So let's see.
This randomly generated name seems full of promise.
Yes.
All right. So let's see. Just get some stuff up here. All right. So
Zion's name was randomly generated, so you know, well, the good names.
all right. So you head your way over to. You take the left-hand path and you walk your way through the crowd over onto the left-hand side. Maybe you ask around a little bit about Tipio, and people point you kind of in a downwards direction. You take some descending stairways, and as you're going down, the area gets kind of more built up. Like you're getting, like it isn't a huge drop down to where it becomes. Like, think of these as low tower blocks, basically. And as you go further down, you get shown and directed towards the place of Tipio, which looks something like this. It's an unremarkable place with an unremarkable door into a fairly unremarkable room, in which is a huge piles of various bric-a-brac. Yeah, not immediately anything stands out as particularly identifiable. It seems kind of the equivalent of a junk shop, basically. You don't see any immediate sign of a patron. So, yeah. Do you try and get his attention, or just look around?
Maybe poke around in the junk, see if there's anything interesting.
Maybe see if the junk is Tipio. You never know.
All right, let's see. Maybe.
I look around and say, "Oh, it's a tip in here."
Oh god.
At that, you hear someone go, and a slightly strange face pokes out from one of the piles of junk. And a small, somewhat sort of cat-like, but I guess medium-sized, I guess you might say dog-sized, creature on 4 legs emerges slinkily from a shadow in the back of the shop. And it speaks in a somewhat kind of chiming, sing-song kind of voice. And it looks like... says, "Hello, strangers."
Wow. Wait.
Oh. Cool.
Afternoon. Good afternoon.
Tipio
We-
here. What's the rumpus?
We were told by a friendly insect leg merchant that you're the person we need to see if you want to know what's what in this place.
Oh, you mean Ehegur?
Yes, yes.
That's the
Well,
one.
people tend to make it my way when they need to know what the word is.
Yeah, and we need to know, man. We need to know what's what. We may not look like it, but we might be from a different dimension, or possibly just from somewhere else. Very far.
It might be.
Yeah, we might be from right next door. We stepped through a portal, and we're not sure if
From
we're.
the sky.
Yeah. We're not quite sure how far it transported us, or if it even transported us anywhere, or if you're all an illusion. But we can't really do anything with that. So we were wondering if you could tell us where we are and what's
It makes a kind of
strange happening lately.
kind of noise and looks rather interested in it. Jumps up onto one of the piles of junk and kind of pads its way closer to you, investigating you and tilting its ears. Travelers from far away, and it retreats briefly towards one of the piles of junk with a flick of its tail, and then it returns with a small kind of compass-looking device, which it plonks down and pokes at with its foot. And what you determine to be an aerial view, basically, of the city that you're in, opens up and then zooms out Google Maps style. Let's see. I guess anyone who feels like they might have a knowledge of geography and stuff, whether trained or not, go ahead and make me a intellect level 3.
That is definitely not me.
Geography.
I'll give it a try.
Would I be trained in that, or is that not sort of my...
Well, this would be like, that you would recognize places on a map.
Nice.
I did a Chris. All right, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I think Zion would know. Probably Hyoyeon would, and maybe Erasmus would as well. All right, so let's see.
Nice.
All right,
Apparently, I'm really good at navigating.
Let's see. Yeah, you recognize this. There is, so as you recall, the safe reaches are basically on the west and the more northern coasts of, the continent, presumably. But there is a kind of stretch of relatively temperate and safe and peaceful land that stretches from kind of the middle north of the safe reaches and goes out to the east. So it's not really considered part of the Outlands or anything like that. But there is, in fact, a city there, and now that you see it on the map, either of you, Zion and Varix, I guess, do recognize Free. It's it's still a long way from your home, but it is, it's in a vaguely civilized place, is I guess what I'm getting at. Tipio says, so does that help? Do you recognize where you are?
Yeah, I think it kind of does. Tell me, do you guys know about the church around here?
Oh, the church? It's not something that's really come out this far, but there is someone you might call a priest, and she, or it...
The next NPC.
Oh wait, are we still then in the? Oh, I can't remember what they're called, but like the Outlands kind of thing.
This city is basically not in the Outlands. It's in it's a long distance from the place you started off, which I forget the name of right now, but it is technically in the safe reaches.
Okay,
It's
but
kind of far out.
away.
It's kind of far out to the northeast.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
far away from where we started, since the church is also not here. That's because that's everywhere where we're from, right?
But also miles from where we just were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question is, are we in some sort of constructed recreation, or are we actually here?
Why don't you tell me?
Yeah, can I? You know what? Can I roll with my training in illusions to see if I can see if all of this is somehow not the actual world?
Yeah, definitely.
Difficulty a lot, I'm guessing.
Let's see. Yeah, I think this is going to be difficulty 5. To basically do an illusion check.
Got him.
Wow, you really? You put 3 effort in?
I mean, I've got 2 intellect edge, so it's only 3 ints, so I'm fine with that.
All right, you.
I just want to know, to be honest.
Yeah, so Tipio sees that you're trying to determine what's real, and it lifts a hand-like forefoot up to its mouth and gives a little chuckling giggle. I could sell you things that would help you determine if this is real, but then would that really help? And
But
in
if
any
this
case,
wasn't real,
yeah.
then that wouldn't help us.
But you have various tricks up your sleeve to various little reality checks and things. It's a shame Bean isn't here because you could always hit something with the chair leg of truth. But in any case, you
Always
yeah,
said the
you-
chair-legged truth was OP.
Yeah, I take out my totem, I spin it.
yeah. All right, so you do that, and let's see. I don't know exactly how this would be determined, but what you find out is that the place surrounding you is, in fact, well, at least as far as you can tell, real, and is indeed the real city of Foy in the safe far northeastern safe reaches. However, it appears that you are illusions.
Ah. Yeah, I think Zion would he would use the bracer he has that allows him to interact with illusions, kind of try and ascertain what's happening. That's kind of probably how he's doing this. But okay,
Have you also
so
got a scanning-majig?
I,
Some sort of oddity
Magic.
I don't have one of those. Well, I've got that future-looking device, which I still haven't whipped out yet because I'm saving it. Okay, so we're like astral projections of a sort, but we're corporeal, right? Because we've picked up insect meat sticks. So I guess.
Tipio jumps onto your head. Yep,
Yeah.
corporeal.
All right.
Corporeal as they come.
Okay. This is not weird at all.
It
How big is Tipio? Is she like cat-like, or he or she?
it's like a big cat or a small dog. But it is so deftly balanced that although it's a little bit heavy, it doesn't really feel like it's going to tip off, as it were. And it leans forward and puts its upside down face in front of yours, and it says, "I'm curious before you leave. What exactly are you looking for here?"
Yeah, we're not quite sure. That's kind of what I was here. The next question was going to be if there's anything you would expect 6
A puzzle.
visitors to look for. Yeah, exactly.
I do like puzzles.
I had a feeling you would.
Tell me a little more about how you came to be here in illusion form.
Sure. I guess we owe her that much, or him or her. I still don't know. Anyway,
Perhaps.
Yeah. So I guess I'll tell her this story of what's...
Yeah, sure. All right. So do you just basically fill it in on everything?
With the cliff notes.
Yeah.
Why not? This is definitely not going to bite us in the ass.
While you're telling your story, it jumps off your head and briefly disappears back into the shadows again, and then returns with a, let's say, it kind of looks like a small pestle, like a small little ceramic bowl that it has filled up with some kind of powder or something, and it. With its uncannily prehensile hand feet, it strikes a flint and sets this stuff on fire, and a strong kind of incensey but also very metallic smell wafts up from it, and it commences to start inhaling the smoke gently as you talk. Speak of the
I was
devil.
gonna say.
Phaeton arrives.
You said vaping?
But it otherwise, curiously, as you relate this tale, and it
By
says,
the way, if we're illusions, how do we eat the crabs?
"How did you eat the crabs?" Indeed. No, you
Alright,
you are like physically there. You're not. You can touch things and so forth. So yeah, it's a bit of a mystery exactly how the technology behind this thing works. Also, hello, Bean. Are you here? Hello.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, running a lot later than I expected.
That's all good. So basically what's happened is after having defeated the dragon and whatnot last time, they got transported to this place which looks, as you can see in the pictures, it is a peaceful city which they've determined is the far northeastern city of Foy in the safe reaches. However, it appears that you guys are not actually there. You're simply being projected there by some means. You are currently in the shop of Tipio, the strange cat, who
Awesome.
is on the right. And it is currently listening to the story that Zion is relating about how you got to be here, while it inhales a metallic taste or smelling smoke from a small ball of flaming powder.
I love that that's a catch-up for one missed session. That's brilliant.
Part of.
Yeah.
Can we keep Tipio?
Well, you relate the tale to it, and it seems greatly interested, and it says, so where you really are is far out in the outlands, where no one in this city has ever been. Most interesting. I bet there would be a lot to learn from a place like that. And it tilts its head, and it jumps forward to the front of the shop, and it puts its hand paw on a kind of levery, on actually let's say a kind of string pulley type thing. And when it pulls on it, the front of the shop, basically a bunch of rolled up, displays, which are made up of kind of, what am I thinking of? It's kind of like those blinds that are just like a bunch of kind of straw on a string.
Luxiflex, or what do you call them in English? I forget. Just Venetian blinds? No,
Yeah, Venetian blinds. I think that's what I'm thinking of. Anyway, basically, they're kind of elaborate Venetian blinds that when they get released, they roll down over the front of the shop, and they have all kinds of strange, sparkly gewgaws and stuff that are kind of animated, as in literally made to move and kind of appear lifelike. Little figurines and stuff that basically... They're kind of tapping their feet and crossing their arms and shaking their head and putting up their hands and generally indicating that the shop is closed. And Tipio looks back at you and says, I'll come along. And so it has directed you towards the nearest priest or priest-like person, though it seems like they aren't actually officially part of the church, possibly. It's a little bit unclear. But in any case, Tipio walks you through the streets and such, and brings you to... Let's see. It keeps bringing you further downwards, and the further down you get, down these kind of structures that you can see, the less of the strong natural light from above reaches this place. Nonetheless, it is still basically kind of, it's like a fairly clean, kind of neat kind of place. Basically, there's not really anything that you can see so far in the way of kind of squalor or poverty. It just seems a fairly, a nice place. And as you get further down and the light grows bluer, you start to see, so there's, as I mentioned before, there's kind of a lot of ambient life here, like all kinds of colorful birds and insects and just kind of free-roaming animals and things that make a great deal of just ambient, kind of peaceful noise. As you get further down, you actually start to see various kind of floating jellyfish-like creatures. And indeed, it starts to get to look like this once the picture loads in. Oopsie daisy.
Are they swimming down an alleyway?
Yep.
Again,
This is definitely where I want to retire to.
I love Numenera.
So, you're getting led into the kind of lower reaches of this place, basically. The crowd, it's still, there's still lots of people walking back and forth, and everything seems copacetic and peaceful. I guess as you're walking along and being led through the city, do you do anything in particular, or do you just kind of follow and watch?
I guess I'm trying to take everything in, but unless something happens, I'm just following.
I'll keep talking to Tipio along the way to see if anything noteworthy has happened to this place. Like if there's anything in the recent history of this place that might have anything to do with this, however tenuous.
I don't have a clue what's going on still, so I'm going to be happily waking up out of a stupor and just following everyone out. Just to clarify, do we still have our items or equipment? Do I have my drugs?
Yes, you do.
Okay, excellent.
And you have the
First
stick
thing
of
you check.
you have the chair leg of truth as well, which
Oh, good.
let's say that will have
Okay.
helped you to, I don't know, maybe you just like
I'm assuming I must have taken a few too many the last time, because I don't remember a dragon and everyone keeps mentioning a dragon. And now I'm in a place with swimming jellyfish and a place that everyone else insists isn't real, which isn't too unusual. Oh well. So yeah, I'm happily thinking I'm high and just gonna go along with the flow.
it is a. Sorry, yeah,
Can I capture one of those jellyfish things?
sure. Do you do it like subtly, or do you just grab one?
I just want to, with a somewhat sense of childlike wonder, I want to like almost, like if you would see a puppy or something. and
Oh
you wanna
yeah, kind of
stroke
like
it.
kind of like if a kid sees like a pigeon or something.
Yeah, or like a
Run up.
butterfly, something like that. But,
So let's see. Give me just roll me a straight d20. All right. Let's see. All right. So basically, you just walk up to one of these things and you like reach out and pet it. Basically, it kind of shies away a bit at first and like floats off. But then, as you don't make any violent motions towards it, it starts coming back a bit, and it it moves like a jellyfish basically. So it kind of floats in the air and it kind of cups itself, as it were, to propel itself, and it floats at your hand and bumps at it and tries to see if there's anything in there.
do I have anything edible on me? I'll try and feed it something of the leftover sweetmeats.
Tipio at this point jumps up onto one of the kind of what do you call them, clotheslines that are kind of crisscrossed across this little alley here, and it just balances perfectly on this line and watches you with a grin. Sorry, you asked, did you have any food or anything? Let's say you still have some of that stuff from the cart.
Yeah, so I'll just feed like parcel little things and put them.
It glumps around. Basically, it suddenly kind of inverts itself, as it were, in the sense that it cups in like upwards rather than down, and it glumps around your entire hand, and the food that you're kind of holding in it, assuming you kind of release it from your fingers, gets kind of sucked up into the body of it, and then all of a sudden the jellyfish basically bursts, you might say, and just splashes kind of down your arm, and where it splashes, your scales get they basically get instantly dyed with a kind of like it's kind of like I mean, your scales are already quite what's the word, iridescent.
Yeah.
And but this is like a much brighter. Basically, it's like somebody spilt like a whole palette of all the different colors of paints. So it's like a rainbow kind of slick, and that just gets splashed down your arm.
Varix, you killed it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The other.
Look how stylish he is now.
The other jellyfish briefly blush pink and then flutter away.
Did you say that they're kind of multicolored dyeing things, so inks of some sort?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, I'm not going to take anything back from Varix because that'd be weird. Is there any spill on the side that I could taste?
It spills on the ground and the walls if you want to lick those.
I'm not. I'll take some with my finger. Again, not going to lick Varix.
Right.
There's a limit. I just want to see, does it have any sort of effect?
Let's see. Yeah, sure. Why not? Everything's so you're in kind of a bluish, somewhat monochromatic area.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, when you lick this stuff, it's kind of like the the heavy color shader, as it were, dissipates, and suddenly you can see the actual colors of everything without this blue filtered light.
Hey, guys. If you lick these guys, you can see all the colours.
But just to be clear, these are just the actual colors of the place around you. It basically just adjusts for the blue light.
I'm
well,
not succumbing to
But
peer
in
pressure
your
from you,
current
Dean.
state, it's rather amazing. Also, as you do that and you look up at Tipio, it appears completely grayscale.
So it's like I see colours where there weren't colours, and I can't see colours where they were before.
Yep.
Although was Tipio coloured? Because he looks kind of like black
as
and
in
white
the-
already.
Yeah, well, he had kind of a blue tint to it.
Okay.
And, yeah.
It's just kind of
but
a
now
cool
it's
thing.
Well, Minim obviously tries some of the goop.
You get the same effect, except Tipio turns invisible to you.
Oh.
Actually, let's say everything except the face, which has a rather mask-like appearance.
Yeah.
You can still see the face. Okay, so anyway, having stopped to sample the local wildlife, the great amusement of Tipio, it twists its tail and jumps back down onto street level and starts leading you forwards again. Let's say, so basically the place it leads you to is, it's kind of a like a rolling metal kind of garage door type thing that once again is rather unremarkable, although kind of arrayed around, like stuck to the walls on the, like around this gate door type thing, is a whole bunch of shops signs. So you'll have seen that it's kind of as they had in like the Middle Ages and somewhat today. Shops will advertise themselves in this very tall, narrow spaces by hanging out very kind of large, elaborate three-dimensional signs that kind of depict what they do. And a whole bunch of these are bolted onto the wall around this gate, although they're in kind of various states of disrepair. Some of them seem like they were forcibly yanked off a different wall and then bolted onto this one. So that's kind of the situation, and Tipio gives you the nod to basically knock on this door. As you knock on it, nothing immediately happens. So I guess, well, let's just say eventually one of you like knocks harder on the door, and you hear actually a whole bunch of voices, but they kind of speak in chorus. So there's and they are like different kinds of voices. So there's like a young female voice, an old male voice, and everything kind of in between. And a couple of ones that sound somewhat inhuman, kind of raspy or buzzy or things like that. Unfortunately, I don't have like a voice changer on hand that can do that for me, and I can't really emulate it with my actual voice. So
That's just because you're not trying.
let's say it has kind of a shouty timbre to it. So it's basically. Oh wait, hold on. I started uploading the picture. I didn't quite mean to yet. All of a sudden, these guys open the door.
What? Nice.
I
actually-
don't see the guy. Oh, and then I
Oh,
see.
over on
Oh,
the right-hand
jeez.
side.
Is that one person or?
No, it's weird. So basically, it has to be said, they do act somewhat as they appear, which is somewhat like a kind of troupe of like performance artists, except they're so unnaturally in sync with each other that when they come together, they move as if they were collectively one organism or life form. And yet, individual ones of those, and let's say they look a bit more, their faces are a bit more different from each other, and their bodies are a bit more different from each other than how it appears in that picture. But nonetheless, they appear to be this strange collective entity, and individual members of the troupe, let's say, do occasionally kind of branch off to attend to, other tasks or whatever. But they'll generally kind of, as it were, swarm back with the main group and continue acting as one. But in any case, they ever somewhat kind of hyperactive, and they're like opening the door, and they say, "Oh, what the hell is all this?" And who are these? Oh, Tippy, you son of a bitch! You poor. I bet you got some strange fucking conundrum you want me to solve. And he goes back into its or their home space or whatever that's in here. So this doesn't appear as a kind of shop as Tipio's place did. Let's see. Let's see if I have a picture that would be good for the inside. Not particularly. Okay, so this is just basically a. The gate that you went into is on the ground floor, and then this building goes up at least, let's say, 2 or 3 stories. You get the impression that in most of the surrounding buildings, these are split up into, apartments and little rooms and stuff like that. But this one is actually fully open. It goes up about 3 stories. So think of it as like a big tower, basically. That is kind of squarish. There are some platforms and levels and stuff that kind of go up towards the up towards the roof. And actually, let's say the roof is open to the sky. So as opposed to the very bluish light that is filtering down into the alley, this actually stretches up straight enough to where there's more, daylight, orangish light streaming down into this place. On the shelves and tables and stuff that are surrounding here, there are various strange... It's hard to tell exactly what they are, but they seem, at first glance, kind of like religious icons of, again, like the shop signs. These are like every conceivable type and origin of significant items and objects seem to be kind of piled up. Well, not quite piled up, they're kind of arranged in a complex scheme that is hard to discern at first. And let's see what the name of this collective is. Oh, where am I going? So Tipio kind of smiles beneficently as it gets grumbled at by this group of people, and it walks forward casually into the kind of tower type place, and indicates that you can follow. And it says, "Group of weird guys. This is Omov. This is a group of weird guys."
Hi,
People
Olive.
in
Almost like, you don't say. And
loads of people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Yeah.
Have we seen anybody else about the streets?
Oh yeah. There's
Okay.
they're pretty crowded, and there's just like a big variety of people wandering back and forth.
Okay, is there any way we'd be able to
More
tell
of-
why
most
we're
of
so
them-
weird, or?
Well, I mean, Tipio is just indicating that, because of
Okay.
how you've come to. I mean, yeah, you've explained, your story and whatever. So basically, you're like outsiders to the city.
Okay.
Tipio and Tipio introduces these people as Omov. Tipio and Omov are some of the more strange people that you are seeing, but they're by no means the general population is by no means all just regular humans.
Okay.
And Tipio basically kind of gives a brief rundown of what it has heard from you, and says they're running some kind of peculiar gauntlet, and I was wondering if you might be interested in helping him out. I mean, it seems like an interesting story to be a part of, don't you see? And Almov is like, "Oh god, I don't know. It grumbles basically. In fact, the more grumbly they get, the more their voices kind of diverge from each other and just become like, just a kind of mishmash of kind of words that it's difficult to immediately pick up. But it goes, or they say something like, let's see. So what are you actually looking for then, huh? People come to me looking for things. They think I know where things are, and maybe I do know where things are. But you got to tell me what the thing is that you're looking for first, so I can understand what it is that you're looking for, and then maybe I can tell you what it is.
Well, are there any problems in that this city has that?
This ain't a place of problems. This is a place of good stuff where everything's fine and good. Cause we know where all our shit is at, and we can sort it all out. So everything's fine. No, you're not gonna find any problems to solve here.
We came here through a portal, and I'm wondering, maybe you know of another portal somewhere in the city?
Portals, always with the portals. People come here, they want to go through a portal. They came from a portal. They want me to tell them where. There's all kinds of portals in this place, all right? This is just a kind of place where there's kind of things scattered about the place, And it seems somewhat agitated, but as it's doing this, or as they are doing this, various of them are breaking off, and basically they're kind of inspecting you, but they're only giving you like a glance, like a look, one over glance, and then they seem to pretty instantly ascertain what your deal is. And while they're grumbling and you're trying to get some information or whatever out of them, or even just a smile would be nice, they are picking up various items and objects and stuff that they have, from the shelves and things, and bringing them over to a kind of table-y type deal. And they say, "All right, you want something from me? You got to give. I want something interesting from this experience, So, and they set up. Let's see. So basically, what they're setting up is a table with a chair on either side, and on each side of the table, not directly in front of the chairs, is an arrangement of, I don't really have pictures to hand, but you can imagine a bunch of strange items whose purpose is not immediately clear, but they seem to be kind of symbolic or ritualistic in nature. And then the figure at the center, who's mostly been sticking at the center of Ormov, steps forward and sits down in one of the chairs. And the rest of them kind of array themselves in a somewhat ostentatious manner at the middle one's flanks. And let's see. All right.
Carry on.
Okay, so the middle one, slams its hand down on the table and says, "All right, somebody play me." And it lays out a deck of tarot cards.
Ooh, my time to shine. I will take my seat opposite
Really?
Omav. Is it Omav?
Omov.
Omav. I'll sit opposite Omav. So how do we play?
How do you play in
smile.
All right, so basically this thing gives you a completely convoluted explanation, way too fast for you to understand. And it basically, I don't know, think Calvin Ball, but with cards and random things on the table.
Okay.
I would like to stand next to Bean and project numbers on the cards.
Yeah. So basically, each of Fayan and Omov both get dealt a strange assortment of cards and also objects and counters and tokens. And basically, okay, so Mr. Rasmus, give me so what you're going to be doing is basically using both your instincts and your knowledge of, maybe this game that is put together is kind of made up of various obscure and old rules of a variety of different kind of card games and rituals kind of mixed in together. And these are the kind of things that I think Erasmus would know quite a bit about. So I think what you're going to be doing here is basically picking up the nature of all the different mishmash of rules that Omov is putting together, understanding them, and then projecting some kind of display and numbers and things and hints basically to help Fayan out. Does that make sense?
Yes. Is it a sort of would deception be of potential use here?
We'll get to that in a second. So,
okay.
Erasmus, if you give me a, let's say difficulty 3, but I think you'd be at least trained in this, or whatever your Numenera is.
Yep.
Intellect roll, that is.
Should have taken specialization in Magic the Gathering.
Nice. Okay, so yeah. All right. So you very easily do that, Erasmus. You're, despite how confusing the game appears to the rest of them and how poor of an explanation Omov gives of it, apparently deliberately, you are nonetheless able to pretty easily discern what is going on the table. So basically, I won't go into too much of the details of how this plays out because I don't know, but it you basically play out a couple of hands, and this thing plays like it plays like it's playing speed poker or speed chess or something, and it's and also it's playing like they are playing like they have played this game, hundreds of times before. And nonetheless, despite the speed with which it is throwing cards about the place and like shuffling items on the table here and there, with Rasmus's help.
He's doing that.
Your voice has gone a bit funky there.
Right. With Erasmus's help, Fayan, and also with your greatly alerted state, you are able to.
It looks like it's coming from Erasmus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a phone beep from Erasmus there. But Fayan, you basically have to play to your instincts and also to your weird druggish, motivations that come up. Like basically, you figure out. You know how this game is played. You got it all figured out. Oh, you got to put this thing there, and you got to rack up these cards and these ones, and put these over these. It's all bullshit, but you seem to be getting along okay.
This guy seems like he's a sort who's might get a bit impatient. So I'm just saying, at a few points, I'm going to, when it's a very simple, here's what I should do next. I'm going to deliberate carefully and consider it for a while and just take my time just to aggravate him a bit.
I like it. All right, so
also, did we rest at some point? Should I have reset my stats?
Well, so the others had a fight, and then they've used up to 3 of their rests.
Okay.
So you can do the same thing if you need.
Yeah, sure. I wasn't sure if we'd lost a day or anything. I'll leave it for now then until I need it.
All right, cool. Okay, so give me I guess this is going to be intellect roll, and you can use like deception or anything else that seems that it might apply to try and bamboozle Omov.
I'll let's see how much effort can I actually put in. Tier 3, aren't we? Okay. I'll put in 2 effort and deception. I don't have any other. If I have any other skills, it'll still be strained. So let's do that. I'm just trying to remember how to use this. It feels like it's been forever. Intellect roll. Yep. All right. Cool. Let's do it.
Cool. All right. So.
Sorry. I forgot to set a difficulty. So.
That's right. Let's say that's a pass. So. You successfully basically put Omov on tilt, as it were. And before you know it, various strange items and piles of counters and stuff are piling up on your side of the table, and various of Omov are, resting there, like, putting their forehead on their fist, or like, poking and pushing at the others and saying, "No, you gotta. What the hell are you doing? You're doing an overpass, underpass stretch. You gotta flip and take this and put no." And they like arguing with themselves basically, which greatly amuses Tipio. Let's see. All right. So, okay. So basically you win, as it were, this hand, and sorry, I'm just trying to work. In fact, give me like a couple of minutes. I just got to work out a couple of things.
Okay.
Quinn on the channel saying she's the rules for tarot somewhere on the computer.
I didn't know you could actually play tarot. I thought it was just the fortune telling, future past predicting game.
Yeah, that's the extent of my knowledge of tarot, the word, pretty much. But hey, there must be some sort of...
Wizard of the Coast brought it up.
Tap death.
All right, cool. So I guess basically I'm not really going to play out the full game in hands, actually. I'm just going to say that through a combination of Erasmus's help that he shows to Fayan, and Fayan's combination of wily tactics and drug-induced unpredictability, he's actually able to get one over on Omov, who it seems wasn't really kind of playing properly. Like they just assumed that they would win. In any case, you're able to get one over on them, and as it becomes clear that you're winning, the Omov Collective lets up a collective sigh of exasperation, and they just go, "No, useless!" And they start angrily pushing at the table, and it's rather heavy, so several of them have to come over and help, but they tip it over.
What type of counters were we playing with, by the way?
Little sparkly gems.
As they're flying through, I just like to try and palm on and slip into my pocket for later.
Nice, right? Give me a speed roll, difficulty 3.
Okay, let me just bring it up.
And I think deception would count towards that.
Cool.
Do you have anything?
No, I'll put 1 point of effort into it because it only cost me 1 point.
Right. Nice. You handily palm it, and no one is any the wiser.
Okay.
Cool. So Tipio, as this happens, lets out a kind of yowling laugh, and says, "It's a while since that's happened." And Omov kind of grumbles and complains, but several of them actually leave, or not leave the building, but they slope off and kind of climb up various ladders and basically start working on their own stuff, kind of ignoring you. But the one in the middle, now speaking without being echoed in chorus by the rest of Omov, gives an exasperated scowl at you, but then says, "People come in here thinking they can just..." But it... let's say the figure is female that is left with you, and she basically pulls up a different table. This one is much more ornate. It's kind of like a French Rococo tea table, and it starts preparing some drinks for just for Feyen, let's say. And it hands you a cup of steaming emerald green liquid, which she also has a cup of and sips from.
I will sip from it as well. As long as it doesn't burn my throat, I'll continue drinking it.
It tastes not unpleasant, but it has kind of a slightly soapy aftertaste, and it
I
has
will act like I love it and continue drinking it.
It has no immediate psychoactive effect on you, apart from making you feel slightly more alert.
Yeah.
Yeah, Almoth goes, basically, I don't have specific words, but it apologizes for subjecting you to that, and says, I've been around for a long time. She says, I just get bored, I like to test people and have a little fun when they come around looking for help, because otherwise, well, what's it all about, And it seems rather more. She seems rather more conciliatory in tone than the grumbling collective was before. And she sits down with you and looks around at the rest of the group, kind of acknowledging you as well. And she says, "So you need to find a portal, huh? So." She asks you to kind of give a description of the one that you came through to get here. She says, and she leans back in her seat, and she says, I see, they're using a transverse projection screen. Interesting. Once she gets more details. And she says, all right, I can set one of these up for you, but I'm gonna need you to do something for me. I'm gonna need you to fetch me a few things first. And at this point, some of the other collective people kind of perk up, and they say, "Oh yeah, we need this. We need a second. We need a
sunglasses."
We need what we're gonna need. We need pillars, and I guess we're gonna need Sraja's help with this one. So basically, she gives you a brief shopping list of what they need you to collect for them. Let's see.
Did they always have sunglasses on?
No.
Yeah, of course.
Huh. Okay.
All right, so let's see. Yeah, so basically they indicate to you that they need a couple of things called umam pillars, and also that they need you to fetch somebody called Israjo.
Ishrajo.
Israjo. And they give you, let's see. They give you kind of instructions to find these things. Let's see. So basically, I'm kind of improvising how things are going at this point. And although it's a bit earlier than usual, so I have something in mind for kind of what the second part is, but I haven't really quite bridged them together. So what I'm going to do, I think, is say we're going to take an early break for our 10 minutes. And when we come back, I will have shit lined up for you to do.
Good.
Cool. Yeah. I need to get lunch anyway.
Shaking
Stopping
things
the
up.
strand, back in 10.